According to the Center for Disease Control, each year, 1 in 6 people become sick due to a foodborne illness. That's 48 million people a year. Of those, 128,000 people need to be hospitalized and 3,000 people die. Your actions have a direct effect on these staggering numbers. By following procedures within the food safety videos, you not only ensure great tasting food and beverages, you help keep your Dash-In teammates and customers safe from foodborne illness. We have broken down food safety into 2 video segments. Segment 1 focuses on what occurs behind the scenes, away from the customers, while segment 2 looks at what takes place at the station, in front of the customers. Your trainer today is Julie, and she's excited to meet you and to get started, so let's not keep her waiting.
Hi there, it's great to meet you. You're just in time. I was about to start preparing our food order. You may not think of ordering as being a part of food safety, but it is. Organization of stock already in the store, understanding which products are stored where, and knowing what products are needed all go into what I refer to as smart ordering. And when we order smart, we are setting the stage for great food safety customer experiences. It's important to know what you have and don't have prior to making the order. You can help by putting food and supply items where they go. Everything has a place, know what I mean? This way, we don't over-order and have nowhere to store the items, or worse, under-order and not have it for the customer. Have you ever seen a customer's reaction to finding out their favorite grill item is out of stock? Trust me, it's not pretty. Keep everything off the floor in case there's a spill and to make sweeping and mopping quick and easy. While you're at it, take a look at the shelving and racks where boxes and containers are stored. Do they need to be wiped down? If you notice a quick cleaning opportunity, take it. You'll also want to make sure food items are within code date. A code date is the date the product must be used by or sold by. Food that is past this date is unsellable. We call that expired, and it must be thrown away. But don't just throw expired product away. Mark down what you've thrown away on a waste sheet. This way, your manager will have a better idea of what to order for the next delivery. Labels on the boxes, job aids, and your store trainers are all great resources when it comes to learning about the products. For example, how many servings are in a case? What packaging we use to serve the product? Or what is the topping or condiment of choice for the product? We need to keep these things in mind when ordering, because having one without the other just doesn't make for a good experience. To help us figure out how much of a product to order, we look at history, what we sold last week, last month, and even last year at this time. Oh, and don't forget to check specials on the Dash-In app. If the app has a sale on quarter-pound hot dogs, we want to make sure we get an extra case, or 2. This way, we'll have enough to sell so that we may reach our daily goal, whatever that happens to be. Our manager will keep us in the know by providing us with goals. For now, let's just make sure we order smart. It's truck day. That's what we call Tuesdays around here, the day we receive our order. Receiving is a really important part of the food safety process. It's coming whether we're ready or not, so let's be ready. Unfortunately, the boxes aren't going to put themselves away. Before we get started, we want to wash our hands. Wash with soap and warm water for 20 seconds. Up to your wrists, between fingers, and under your fingernails. Rinse with clean, warm water and dry your hands with a single-use towel or a hand dryer if one is available. Next up, put on clean disposable gloves. Wearing gloves helps to keep food safe, but only if the gloves are clean. So be sure to change your gloves frequently, whenever you move from one task to another, and at least every hour. And if you have a cut on your finger or hand like I did last week, you'll want to wear 2 gloves on that hand. Yes, 2 gloves, just in case. Better to be safe than sorry. Clipboard, pencil, calibrated thermometer, and the invoice, which the driver will give you when he arrives. Know where you want the driver to drop the products being delivered. For example, meats, cheeses, and milk are considered chilled products, which means they are kept in the refrigerator, so receive them there. Bread and items such as ketchup are what we call ambient, which means they should be stored at room temperature, so receive them in the storage area. Placing products as close to their final storage place as possible during the receiving process is called staging. Proper staging is another way we make sure food stays safe for our customers to eat. When the order arrives, play a lead role in staging by letting the driver know where to put each product type. Besides keeping the food safe, this will also help you to put the food away faster, so you can get back to doing what you do best, taking care of the customers. Count the number of boxes or totes delivered and make sure it matches what's on the invoice. Once the driver leaves, if a box is missing, it will be too late to get it back. During the receiving process, it's important that we keep food safe from physical, chemical, and biological hazards. A physical hazard occurs when something you can see gets in or on the food item. Hair, for example. That's why I always keep my hair tied back when at work. A chemical hazard occurs when chemicals get in or on the food item. Sanitizer, soap, and refrigerants, for example. That's why we keep chemicals in approved, labeled containers, and we only use them when food is covered and put away. Biological hazards are bacteria or viruses in the food. There are many food products that contain bacteria naturally, such as raw hamburger or raw chicken. So it's our job to handle the food properly so that the bacteria are killed prior to being eaten. For example, keeping frozen food frozen at -10 to 0 degrees Fahrenheit, or keeping chilled food cold at 32 to 40 degrees Fahrenheit. This means closing the walk-in refrigerator and freezer doors behind you, even when you're working inside them. Bacteria can get on food another way too, from us, the food handlers. But don't worry, as long as we have good personal hygiene, our food will be safe. What is good personal hygiene, you ask? It's coming to work showered, wearing a clean uniform, and washing your hands frequently, especially after using the bathroom or blowing your nose. It's changing disposable gloves often, and not working with food when you're sick. No one wants to eat food that has been sneezed or coughed on. That's enough about hazards. Let's get back to our delivery. First, we'll take a look at the boxes and products. We're looking for boxes with signs of damage, such as rips, dents, or wet spots. When checking what's in the boxes, look for freshness and verify delivery temperature. We don't want to receive brown bananas or bruised apples, because at worst, they could be unsafe to eat, and at best, they're just not desirable to customers. Use the thermometer to check the temperatures of one frozen product and one refrigerated product. The frozen product should be between -10 and 0 degrees, and the refrigerated product should be between 32 and 38 degrees. Once verified, write down the temperatures on the invoice beside the items checked. Remember what we said about code dates? Expired products should never be delivered, but always check just to be sure all the food items are fresh. Now we're ready to move the product to the appropriate storage area and shelves. It's pretty cold in the freezer, so you may want to keep a jacket on hand, even if it's the summertime. Now that your food is safely put away, let's make sure it stays that way, safe. Keep your thermometer handy, we're going to be putting it to good use. A big part of food safety is keeping food at the right temperature. So here we go. Hot dogs, tornadoes, sausages, wings, meat patties, and potato wedges should be stored in the freezer at -10 to 0 degrees. Produce and dairy products, like milk and cheese, should be stored in the refrigerator at 32 to 40 degrees. Remember how we checked the code dates during the receiving process? I didn't want to confuse you with another term at that moment, but you're ready for it now. Sometimes we'll refer to that date as the code date, but we'll also refer to it as the primary shelf life. All food items have a primary and a secondary shelf life. Food that is in its original delivered state is considered in its primary shelf life. Food that is being prepared or has been moved from its original storage location to begin the preparation process is considered in its secondary shelf life. So the food in the freezer right now, waiting to be prepared, is in its, primary shelf life. Some of the food we'll be preparing for customers is cooked from a frozen state. For example, wedges and all types of wings, except for herb roasted. Other food items must be thawed prior to cooking. For example, hot dogs, tornadoes, and herb roasted wings. Since hot dogs, tornadoes, and herb roasted wings are delivered frozen, we have to move them to the refrigerator to thaw for at least 24 hours. This is what we call slacking, moving food from the freezer to the refrigerator to thaw. Normally, you won't need to slack an entire case of any one product, so just take out the number of bags or packages you need from each box. When slacking food, be sure to put a new time code on each box or package of product being thawed. Be sure to include the date along with the time. Once the thawing process begins, each product has a new shelf life. Do you remember what we call this shelf life? Right, the secondary shelf life. Great job. This shelf life varies depending on the product, so check your product life code job aid for additional information. This concludes segment 1 of food safety. We've covered a lot of ground. Are you ready to practice what you've just learned? Excellent. I'm confident you'll do a great job. Have fun!